Alright, hope everybody's having a good one. Welcome to Microsoft Flight Simulator 24 with Cookie Pirate. Today, we're flying the Cessna C400 Corvalis TT. I'm guessing Corvalis is how you say that. It's actually pretty similar to the SR-22, the Cirrus, one of my favorite planes. We're going from Anaktuvuk Pass, Alaska, down to Fort Yukon. 21,000 feet, should be about a 47-minute flight. Climb aboard, let's go flying. Alright, we're loaded in. Okay. Should be some pretty scenery. Oh yeah, look at those mountains. Just absolutely beautiful going out that way. Alright, before we get ourselves distracted too much by the view, let's go ahead and pre-flight the airplane. Alright. Oh, there we go. Okay. Pull the wheel chocks, check the nose gear. Take these engine covers off. Well, while we're right here, let's just check the main wheel. Good. Left aileron looks good. Check the flap. Good. What is this? Oh, it's just the fuel cap. Okay. Put that back. Hey, Shem, welcome. Hey, loaded in, ready for those stunning sights. Oh, man, you're gonna love this one. So, oil cover there. Yep. Alright, let's come back around to this side here. Check this wheel. Whoops. There we go. Fuel on that side. Take that off. Good. That all looks good. Now we'll come back and just check this. Good. Nice. It's the baggage door. Yep. Alright. Close that. Well, we can get into the airplane. Come on, open! Now I guess we have to use this. There we go. Alright. So I'm actually not familiar with this plane. So we will need the checklists for it. We got all of these done. So let's just go through, check them off. Alright, let's see. Mixture, idle cutoff, that's this red knob here. Let me just cycle it. That's good. Let me go back and just check the aircraft load. Maximum cargo of 12 pounds? What? Oh, it's because this payload is high. We need a little more fuel. Alright, that all should be good there. We'll come back to the checklist here. Fuel selector to the fullest tank, we turn that to the left. They're both the same. Avionics, master switch. Where is that? Oh, they're up here. Okay, yeah, interesting. Yeah, that's off. Brakes. Good. When we start the engine, parking brake engaged, mixture goes rich. So that's going to go all the way forward there. Prop RPMs, that's the blue knob, is full forward. Throttle, we're just going to bump it a little bit here. Kind of like that. Alright, battery switch on. Strobe light on. I don't exactly remember where that is. Oh, right there. The lights are all right here. Strobe, nav lights. Okay, we'll turn the nav lights on too. Pull that back up. Primer control, that's this red button right here. I've been in this plane once, just kind of looking around at stuff. Alright. Alright, let's clear. Left. Right. Go ahead and crank the key. Clear! Oh, come on. There we go. Alright, engine is started. We're running. Avionics, we can turn that on. We'll do the before takeoff. I just want to check a couple things here. Flight controls, trim, throttle. Throttle goes up to 1700 for the run-up, similar to the Cirrus. Both should drop about 150. And there should not be a difference of more than 50 between them. Mags back to both. Engine indicators. Cycle the prop. Idle power. Idle below 1000. Flaps to take off. Release the brakes. It doesn't even say what our speeds on here are, though. So let's just check those couple things. See if we can get any information on them. The speeds are not changing. £12 limit, that's about me over 14 times over. Yeah, I know. I don't know why it was saying that. I was gonna say any ordinary person weighs more. But that was also just the cargo hold. I don't know why it was saying that. Alright, let me see if we have any reference of... Okay, yeah, we do. Alright, so we rotate at 75. VY 110, that's our speed to climb out. Okay, so we're gonna set this up. How fast the walk to the Yukons? It's super far from here. We're in the middle of the Brooks Range in Alaska. Alright. I'm gonna release the parking brake, and we're just gonna reposition the airplane so that glare isn't on the screen. Just kinda like that. Now we'll set it. Now I can actually see what I'm trying to do on here. Alright. So the CDI is set. Where are all the buttons for our autopilot? Oh, down here. Oh, this plane has an FMS. Interesting. Okay. Oh, so this is all of the autopilot. Alright, I think we're gonna go at 21,000 feet today. How do we change the speed for the FLC? Oh, it's this right here. Okay. Want that set to 110. Let's hope the holder holds. Yeah. Alright, let's get the weather on the ground here at Anaktuvuk Pass. I know I'm taking a little bit of time, but this is an unfamiliar airplane. Let me see if our tablet has it. Is that guy who was waiting for Uber flying with you this time? No, he's not in here today. Alright, so let's see what this is saying here. 220 at 9, visibility is 8, that, or visibility is 10 miles, I'm pretty sure. 8 Celsius is the temperature outside, that's about 46 Fahrenheit, and I don't know why that's saying that for pressure, that isn't correct. $29.81. I just checked Sky Vector. And the airport elevation is showing 2140. And it's 2106 on the chart, so that's fine there. Alright. Okay, I think we're good right now. We can go ahead and release the parking brake. Let's throttle up a little bit. Come on, roll. Alright, there we go. Oh boy. A little bit close quarters trying to taxi through all of that. Alright, but this is pretty much the entrance to the runway right here. It's just a little gravel strip. But I think we're actually good to go ahead and we'll stop right here. Set the parking brake again. And let's go ahead and do a quick run-up. I Love Planes, welcome, man. Alright, for the run-up for this, we'll go out of the cockpit, check the flight controls. We've got rudder's good, elevator's good, ailerons are good, and we'll set the flaps to half. Back into the cockpit. Oh, nope, that's the parking brake. I pressed the wrong button, sorry. In the manual Cirrus? Yeah, I know, right? Ha! That's a good way to put it. It looks very similar, but it's a little bit, it's a little more generic. But actually it's cool because it's got functional FMS and everything. Alright. Our runway heading... It's gonna be kind of like that right there. So that's set. Altitude is set to 21,000 feet, so we're gonna turn that on. We're gonna turn the FLC on. And it should... Oh, you know what? I think it cleared. It's bigger than an SR-22. I think a tad bit. It's pretty close. Alright, for the run-up, we're going to power to 1700 RPMs with the mixture and prop pull forward. Up a touch more, that's a little bit high there, we were going over 1800. So let's pull back a bit. Come down. Touch more. Is that stabilizing? Alright, good enough. Alright, so we'll do a mag check. We should see a drop of about 150. Come on. And that's a drop of less than that, so that's okay. Now we'll go back to both. Now we'll check the right one. That's good. Back to both. Engine instruments are all looking in the green. No warnings, errors, caution, anything. The oil's a tiny bit on the chillier side. So the next thing we're going to do is grab the prop control. And we're going to pull it, and we should see a drop here. Yep, there we go. We'll put that back in. And it revs back up. Never mind, what am I saying? It has glass stuff. Oh, it looks like an old plane. I don't think it's quite as modern as the Cirrus. But yeah, I mean, it's not that old. Alright, that's back in and that's cycling back up. Now we're going to go ahead and cut the power to idle. And it should drop below 1000. It's down in the 900s, now it's in the 800s. Now it's in the 700s, that's looking good. Put the power back just a tiny bit. Okay. Alright. Let's go ahead and turn the landing light on, and let's head on out. Alright, so our speed in this plane when we take off should be at 75 knots. Pretty breezy that direction. Let's get lined up here. Airspeed is already alive because of the wind. Let's go full power. Engine instruments are good. $75. Up. Up! Come on! Plane didn't want to lift off. Alright, we got a positive rate of climb. We can bring the flaps up. And we want to accelerate to about 100. That's our best angle of climb. Good view that way. Unfortunately, we're missing the view of the town because it's just kind of up to the north. But let's go ahead and turn the autopilot on. Come on. If I lower the nose, it shouldn't level off. I'm gonna have to turn here because of this terrain. we gotta watch this terrain. Why? We're still flying runway heading. We turned a little bit to avoid that, but it's looking okay right there. Let me zoom in, and let's get this, we want 110 there. Yeah, we're clearing that terrain pretty fast, so we're looking okay here. Oh yeah, we're plenty good. Alright, so here's an Anaktuvuk pass back here. The town lies at the opposite end of the airport there. Once we get just a little bit more height, we can go ahead and turn, because we gotta clear some of these higher range peaks here. Plane was like, man, don't really feel like getting up. I found what it was, the trim was set down. That's why the plane didn't want to rotate. Alright, we're plenty above terrain now. How? Oh, it's this button here. Okay. No, don't level off. It's supposed to go to 21,000. Come on. Alright, there we go. 100 knots is like 125 miles per hour. It's about 115, I think. So you're not far off. Starting to go through a little bit of clouds. But it's clearing up ahead. I like these views that we're getting right now. As these clouds pass, we should get a decent view of an Anaktuvuk pass. It flies high at 25,000 just like the SR-22. Now keep in mind this is a turbocharged engine, so... It has good capabilities. It's actually faster than the SR-22 as well. Oh yeah, okay. Now if you look right down here. Starting to get covered up by the clouds again a little bit, but it's a very small community. I think there's only about 400 people that live here. It's extremely remote. Absolutely beautiful too, though. Alright, let me pull the tablet back up. Let's go check the, Let's go check the checklist now. Initial climb anywhere from 110 to 140. Climb power. Fuel selector, we don't have to change it. The mixture should be full rich. Sorry, mixed my words up a little bit there. Not really saying anything about... Oh. Sorry about the hiccups. Not really saying anything about cruise performance. Yeah, checklist is grayed out, so this plane doesn't have it built in on it. A quick view outside. This plane looks slick. Got the silver and then the blue and teal. Not really stripes, but kind of. And there's the airport there. And the town. This sits on the Anaktuvuk River. And that runs all the way down. The mountains kind of taper off out here. And you'd go about another 120 miles or something like that. Then, you would reach the Arctic coast. Why is this plane climbing so slow? I don't understand that. It's impressive height, 3/4 of a passenger jet cruise altitude. Yeah, a lot of these small planes with turbocharged engines can go quite high. I don't understand what... This plane's flying level at 11,000 feet. Full power. Haven't touched anything. Flaps are up. I can turn the landing light off up here. Turn the fuel selector to the right. Now we're... Do we need to adjust the prop control a bit? Okay, there we go. It's because we didn't lean the mixture, and the checklist says leave it full rich. But it turns out you have to lean the mixture to get that boost in performance. That is so weird. Was wondering why the plane didn't work. I didn't update it. Oh. Happens. That was really weird. So that checklist is wrong. There comes a point you do have to lean the mixture. Question is, in this plane, what's the best way to tell? Oh, we have this right here. So as we pull back on the mixture, it's kind of like in the Cub Crafters. Whoa, what in the world? Oh, we're getting a loss of power right there. So we gotta enrich it a little bit. That looks like it's good. So this plane looks a bit buggy. I don't know. Yeah, that was kind of weird. Code Games, hello, welcome. Looks like we're getting a bit of cloud buildup, and that's unfortunate because earlier on it was pretty clear through here. And the view is spectacular going over the Brooks Range. So I'm going to be pretty mad if it clouds over completely. I mean, not really, but a little disappointed. Alright, let me pull the tablet up. Oh. Just did that again. What is going on with this airplane? I'm not sure. Alright, our route today. This is an Anaktuvuk Pass. We are about 120 miles above the Arctic Circle. Maybe not quite that much. Arctic Circle's about down here. So we're pretty far north in the state. If you zoom out, you can see the Arctic coast right up there. So it's not all that far. And this airport sits in the Brooks Range, in a mountain pass. And it's kind of on the northern side, so that town is usually pretty cool, because you get the Arctic air masses. Even in the summer, it stays pretty mild. So we're flying over the Brooks Range, over a couple lakes, and then we're flying to the flats. This is the Yukon River, and this is the town of Fort Yukon that sits on the river. And Fort Yukon sits on the Arctic Circle. So, this is Fairbanks down here, so relative, it's about 120 miles between Fairbanks and Fort Yukon. And I know the other day we flew into Eagle, which sits further on the Yukon River, kind of over here. And this is the Yukon Territory, Canada. That's Dawson. That's the village of Old Crow. So again, the boundary is kind of like here. So kind of relative to where we are. And if you zoom out and take a look at Alaska overall, you can see we're pretty far north. So this is still, I guess, technically the interior per se. Tends to be very warm in the summer and very cold in the winter. And the Brooks Range is kind of running from over here, but it really starts more over here. And it runs and curves up until, at this point in the Yukon, it's basically right along the coastline. Hey! Alright, yeah, we're climbing and we're finally at 19,000 feet, so we got 2,000 to go. Let's go ahead and set standard pressure. 29.92. And we just sit back and hang out for a little bit. This plane cruises really fast. Over 230 knots, which is a little bit faster than the SR-22. Wait, why is it set at 20? Did I bump that down by mistake? It should be 21. Let's, yeah, let's get those last 2,000 feet. Or last 1,000, sorry. What the heck is up with the Phoenix? I have no clue. I couldn't tell you. Yeah, I mean, I don't have it. I haven't really heard anything about it. But yeah, that's kind of weird. Alright. Here we are, leveled off at 21,000 feet, finally. Ha! Cruise altitude, minus 25. up here. That's minus 13 Fahrenheit. And let me go in and set a couple things. Not that. Not that. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So, wind is pretty strong up here. It's 40 knots. Getting a bit of a tailwind. This plane's cruise speed is about 235 true. So, I mean, here we are and we're still accelerating. 42 knots. Now, you take a look at this. So, we're getting a 17 knot headwind and a 37 knot crosswind. Set that back in. Now, they should be giving us, unless I'm missing it somewhere. Oh, you know what? I think it's a little bit different on the, oh yeah, on the G1000, it's a little bit different than the Cirrus. So, our ground speed is 255, and our true airspeed is right at 235 right now. So we're doing pretty good. Alright, we're losing a bit of speed or engine power right there. I think we want that right at the top of the green for peak power. And we just sit back. Alright, well, it looks like it's the clouds are clearing up a little bit here. So, just enjoy the beautiful view of the Brooks Range. This over here, down here, I believe, is the Dalton Highway, which runs from Fairbanks all the way up to Prudhoe Bay on the Arctic coast, and goes through some pretty steep mountain passes of its own. And then that's also where the oil and gas pipeline kind of runs through. So if we pull that up on the tablet, that should be, I believe. Yes, it is. Alright, I see it because I recognize some airports. Coldfoot, Wiseman, and you go up. This is the mountain pass here, and then Galbraith Lake up there. So yeah, this is definitely the Dalton Highway. Pretty interesting view. Beautiful mountains. Hey, now we're sitting right seat. Oh, hello! And you get the view right here. Alright, let me go back to my seat. What just happened? The alternators, maybe? Is that me? I don't know. Is that autopilot? Yeah. That was really weird. I'm not sure what's going on. That just all of a sudden all caught off. Alright, well the autopilot's turning back. I'm not really sure what happened. Was it because these weren't on up here? Didn't tell us to turn those on, but I guess with the alternators you should. Autopilot trim? Not even sure that works. Glare shield. cabin lights. Oh, this is gonna be interesting. If this screen... Okay, there it goes. Alright. I was gonna say, if that doesn't load, this is gonna all of a sudden become a very challenging flight. But it looks like we're okay. Alright, so as I'm looking... This is showing we have about 28 minutes remaining. So we're actually doing really well on the speed. Yeah, look at that out that way. That is pretty. See, the Brooks Range is one of my favorite places in the state to fly. You've got a few really good airports around here. Let me pull the tablet up. Just some reference points here. Anaktuvuk Pass, one of my favorites. This is Bettles. It doesn't sit in the mountains, but it's kind of the hills starting to lead up into the mountains there. Prospect Creek, that sits on the Dalton Highway. A little further up, Coldfoot, Wiseman. Galbraith Lake is pretty. We're actually pretty close to flying over Chandeleur Lake. That's one of my favorite places in the state. Absolutely beautiful. Kind of nestled right back here. And then if you come up over here, there's the city, or the village, town of Arctic Village, which actually sits kind of on the southern side. So Arctic Village and Anaktuvuk Pass are about at the same latitude, but because of the way the mountain range curves, Anaktuvuk Pass is on the north side of the range, and Arctic Village is on the south side. Because of that, Arctic Village gets very warm in the summer. Not to the degree that Fairbanks and Fort Yukon do. But it gets much warmer than Anaktuvuk Pass usually does. And then you have the Yukon Flats, which has some pretty cool airports. There's Fort Yukon, one of my favorites. Veneti, I think is how you say that, sits up here. Over this way, you have a small town called Chalkyitsik. And this is the Porcupine River. If you were to follow that, you'd eventually get up to Old Crow in the Yukon, which is a native village. So, northern Alaska is full of beautiful places to fly. Fantastic scenery. The tricky thing about it is, half the time the weather sucks. So you kind of get screwed over out of flying it, you know. I'm getting annoyed by the Phoenix. Yeah. Just fly something else, man. Don't let yourself get worked up. Go fly the Vision Jet. Or wait. Are you flying 20? Alright. Clouds are clearing up ahead. That is good news for me. And you all, because that means we get better views. Might go to the 737 or something. Yeah. Alright, that works. If you wanted to fly an airliner, yeah, just switch to that. But yeah, this is really pretty. This is a good example of why this is one of my favorite places in the state to fly. We're flying pretty much right over Chandeleur Lake, which is about the halfway point for us. It's a very, very small gravel strip right down here. Sits on a lake, kind of shaped a little bit like a boomerang. And this is such a fun airport to fly in and out of. There's a couple like hunting lodges and stuff like that. It's great fishing up here in the summer. It's, despite being tucked away in the mountains, it's actually a fairly mild part of the state. It does get warm in the summer. It can get bitter cold in the winter. But from what I've seen, it actually tends to stay a little bit more mild than some of the other places in this area. Fort Yukon, where we're going, actually holds the record for the highest temperature ever recorded in Alaska. And for a long time, it also held the record for the lowest temperature. It hit plus 38 one summer, and it got down to minus 61 Celsius, I think. It was minus 78 Fahrenheit. And then Prospect Creek, which I looked at on the map a little earlier, broke that record. It got down to minus 80 Fahrenheit. Just insane. But Fort Yukon is a place of extremes. It gets very warm in the summer, and it regularly gets extremely cold in the winter. Seen cold spells, even when Fairbanks is mild, because Fort Yukon and the Yukon River Valley, the flats, sit between these two mountain ranges. You have the Brooks Range, and these are the White Mountains, kind of around like Central and Circle and Eagle over this way. Cold can get trapped in here, and it is not uncommon to see the temperature get to 50 to 60 below in the winter. So like the Northeast USA, far colder. Far, far colder. With Fort Yukon sitting on the Arctic Circle, it also gets about a week of midnight sun where the sun just doesn't set. It gets as low to sit right on the horizon, but it doesn't set. And in the winter time, I should say on the winter solstice, the sun rises for maybe an hour and a half or two, and it sits on the horizon. It does not go above it. So the entire sun doesn't become visible. You only get to see about the top half of it or something like that. Maybe a little more because of atmospheric refraction. That's starting to get really technical. And I'm not an expert in that stuff, but you get about 2 hours of daylight in the winter. Let me grab a look outside. Turn back here. Here's another view of Chandeleur Lake. It's kind of nestled in these mountains. It's really pretty. It's one of my favorite places in the state. Flown in and out of there several times. We'll do that some point, maybe in the X-Cub, because you can take that and get a very easy jump over to a couple of these other lakes, and then Prospect Creek and Coldfoot are out in this direction too. So yeah, it looks like the mountains are starting to taper off a little bit here. If you look up ahead, there's really not much in terms of variation in the terrain because we're getting into the flats. Let's just take a look at the avionics here real quick. Let's actually switch that back while I'm thinking about it. And whoa, what did I just hit? Go back to map. Alright, there we go. This is saying 19 minutes to Fort Yukon, so let's go ahead and get ready to descend. I think what we're gonna do is take this down. We can get right down to 2,000 feet, because it's just totally flat through all of this. VNAV is on. I'm gonna set the FLC and pull the power back. And that'll get us to start descending. We're gonna just turn that down. Pull back on the power a little bit more. Yeah, that is pretty. I always love flying up here. Alright. Let's go ahead and grab the weather at Fort Yukon. I'm just gonna pull it up on Sky Vector. Uh-oh. Oh, that's bad news. Okay. It is clouded over. Overcast at 3,000 feet. So we're gonna be probably shooting an instrument approach to get in. Alright, we'll look at our options in a moment. 14 Celsius on the ground there. 2989. As we get ready to descend through 18,000 feet, let's just go ahead and take this back a bit. Not much different than standard there. Char blinks 182. I like to get high, so high. Shem, lovely stuff. Enjoy these sights. Oh yeah, this is one of the most spectacular areas in the state for scenery, in my opinion. It's just consistently good. And it's so remote up here, but there's just constantly stuff to see that's really pretty. Skip that song. I know my music is just kind of... almost feel like it just starts to get kind of stale. I don't know. Is that saying ADF DME? I don't know why that came up. Alright, so we're gonna have to select an approach getting into Fort Yukon, because I don't think we're gonna be able to go visual. ILS time? Nope. I don't think Fort Yukon has an ILS approach. It's Dale, by the way. Decided to change my name today randomly. Hello. Oh, what up, man? Alright. Okay. Well, this is gonna be... Our one option is the RNAV runway 4. That is the only, I Love Planes is the only instrument approach going into Fort Yukon, is the RNAV. So, I'm sure eventually you'll learn how to fly an RNAV approach. It's challenging. Okay. So I'm looking at these, I think I'm gonna end up pulling the screen up for Sky Vector here, and we're gonna take a look at that. Okay. Window capture, let me change that to the Sky Vector chart. Alright, so what we're gonna do, and hey, we just got a weather update. Now it's saying few clouds, so we actually may be able to go visual. I don't know. Done an RNAV and a Cessna 150, just follow the altitude. Yeah. Well, let's just see what our options are on here. So we're gonna take RNAV runway 4C. It does have a GPS and VOR for the other runway. Pull up, pull up. Nah, we don't gotta do that. Hey, with Captain Cookie Pirate, you know you're in good hands. Alright, so I think what we can do is we would set to Zetmo. No procedure turn. So we just go, we can set to Zetmo and go along, Eknak, whatever these things are, however you pronounce it, and that says that we fly right into FYU, yeah, Fort Yukon. Alright. So I think we're actually set. Yeah, switch to IFR. I don't know why it filed VFR. Right. So we're actually going to have to adjust our course here a little bit. So what we're going to do is also pull that up on here. RNAV, runway 4. Set to Zetmo. Fly course reversal, no. Means we're going straight to it, and we're going to activate. It's going to send us on course right away to that point. This is true especially when you have your own flight class coaster. Oh, that was so cool. Brolnik did a fantastic job with that. Yeah, we are set up IFR technically. Just the EFB for whatever reason specified VFR. Or not really. Alright. This right here is the Chandelar River. As we're descending, you can kind of see it curve around this way, and then it eventually ties into the Yukon River. This over here is the town and airport of Veneti. Really small community, I think about 150 people. It's tiny. Yep, that's exactly it. Okay. So we're set direct to this fix here. And if I pull the chart back up, I'm just going to pull it up on my own. We may be able to go visual if the clouds end up having cleared up. If we see the airport, we can just end up flying directly to it. Yeah, so we just, oh, you know what? As I'm looking at that, so we have got to change this right here to 2,500, not 2,000. 2,000 is the height to fly over the final approach fix. But 2,500 is the minimum to fly over the point that we're going to. So let's just set that right. Variable at 3, so the wind is calm. I'm not concerned about a tailwind or anything. Oh, you got into the 737? Good. Alright, what are our speeds on these flaps? Okay, so can't be above 127 to set the flaps to takeoff, and then 117 for full flaps. Okay, it's good to keep in mind. The next thing we can do is take a look at our checklist and just... Oh, we gotta go down here. I'm still kind of learning my way around this thing here, but it's pretty cool. Before landing, the mixture is gonna go rich. We can actually enrich in it a little bit right now. Fully. Fuel selector, prop control will go full forward. We'll disconnect the auto landing, or autopilot before we land. It isn't really saying speeds. Let me look up a checklist real quick for this plane real world. Or just Google the V-speeds. Alright, let's see here. I'm not finding what I'm looking for. Come on. Now, one thing about this plane, unlike the Cirrus SR-22, flight into icing in this plane is prohibited. This plane is not equipped to deal with ice. Alright, let's see here. VO, VFE, VNO. Alright, so the stall speed is 73 flaps up and 60 with flaps down. So that means we would probably want to be looking at... Oh, see, this descended way faster than we really needed to. Alright. Any Planko tonight, Cookie? You know, I was thinking about it. I might. I did not get back into the game to redo what I lost last night, but you know what? If you all are okay with it, then maybe we'll just go in and kind of pick back up again. Maybe we could do it better tonight. I love watching you stream. When are you gonna be flying a big boy plane? Just out of curiosity. Love the Cessna flights. I don't really do the big airline jets. They're just not really my thing. I've kind of dabbled with corporate planes a little bit, but I love the kind of the turbocharged prop planes, just because you can get in and out so much, you know, of so many more airports than you can. You're really limited when it comes to airport selection with the big ones. And I also don't really like doing flights longer than an hour most of the time. Alright, yeah, this brought us down way faster than we needed to be, so what I'm gonna do is bump the power up, and we're just gonna kind of accelerate here as we're flying low. I love ice. I like ice cream. We can grab this and zoom in. This is saying about 12 minutes to go. Yeah, we descended a bit too fast on that. We set the speed on the FLC and it ended up descending us way faster than we really needed to. What's cool though is you get a better view of all of the trees over here starting to change color, which is really cool in this sim. Can you please fly the Dark Star from Top Gun Maverick? Ooh. I have seen people do that in the sim. I don't have it. It's just absolute insanity what that does. Kind of getting bumped around down here a little bit. I missed last night's, but that sounds good. That stuff is literally most of the enjoyment of Planco. Yeah, I spent a bunch of time setting up a modular gift shop and a wooden roller coaster that Jimper's built. And, you know, in reality, if I wasn't streaming, when I wasn't, you know, focused on chatting with you all and stuff like that, knowing exactly what I need to do, I could do it off stream in 30 or maybe 40 minutes. But I could not motivate myself to go in and do all of that today. And, you know, it also gives us the opportunity to change some more stuff up a little bit. Have it end up with a slightly different result than what we had last night. Because it's actually getting a little bit late. I'm not totally sure that I'm gonna do Planco tonight. It was all Bromic's fault too. No, no, it was my fault. That sucks and is super exhausting, definitely. Yeah, but it's not too big of a deal, because when I'm streaming, chatting, etc., stuff like that, I'm not, you know, playing most efficiently, so to speak, in terms of time. Because I know if I go off stream into that park and do exactly what I did last night, with nobody to chat with, and so I'm just 100% focused on what needs to be done, I could get it done in 30 or 40 minutes. But I really don't mind. You know, it's kind of a chance to redo it, change some stuff up a little bit, so yeah, it's fine. Buttered the SR22 minus 67 feet per minute. That's pretty good. Oh, you know what? We're not going to go out of the way here. Alright. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a shortcut. Because I can see weather looks really good, so we're just going to set direct to that fix now. Totally all of his fault. Bromek should just load your park and do all the work and re-upload it. Haha, no. Lovely the foliage, yeah. I missed your message earlier, Shem, but yeah, this is absolutely spectacular. You don't get that in the 20 version, so this is new to this one, and it's super pretty. I can't wait until it starts getting dark early, like October and early November, and it gets to be twilight and it'll get dark enough you'll be able to see the northern lights, because this sim includes the northern lights. I cannot wait to see them. I say performance-wise, this plane is great because it just cruises so fast, but I'm not a super big fan of it, to be totally honest. Feels like it's a bit unstable right now. I don't know what's going on. Might end up turning the autopilot off and flying it by hand, but it looks like it's starting to get itself set. This right here is the Yukon River, and that arrow over there is pointing toward Fort Yukon. We're gonna need to go down to 1,000 feet. Or, you know what, no, like 1,400, because the airport elevation I think is 400. Yeah, 447. Okay. Pull back the power, let's go ahead and start descending, because we're getting pretty close in. This right here is the Chandeleur River, as it kind of curves its way back up toward Veneti, and eventually runs into Chandeleur Lake. Now, this is getting really pretty, though. Absolutely beautiful views over this way. It's flat, but just all the winding rivers and the forests and everything. I love the view up here. That's when my seasonal depression starts? No. Oh, man. Here in the... excuse me. Here in the Carolinas, I would say October and early November for me is the most pleasant weather. It's our dry season. It's warm, but then it cools off at night. You can open a window. It just feels like crisp, fresh. I love it. Our FLC shut off again. Speed back up. This is taking way longer than it should. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of this airplane. I'll probably fly it again, just give it another shot and try to get used to it and stuff, but first impressions are not great. What is this? Is that just dirty, or did I pick up icing? Ooh. May have picked up a little bit of icing. I don't know. Although you would think it would be melting. It looks like it's more just dirty, but I'm not 100% sure. Well, if we say flight into known icing conditions are prohibited, then what I would say is we flew into unknown icing conditions. Oh, man. That's not a big deal. Our performance is okay and stuff, so. We're coming right over the Yukon River. Is this wing heat on this one? Nope. No. Flight into known icing is prohibited in this airplane. so it doesn't really have anything. Yeah, don't admit it, right? That's why I said we'll call it flight into unknown icing conditions. We didn't know. And if you look at this, we're still level at just about 2,000 feet and not 1,500 like I said. I don't know why. It could be I just have to reconfigure some stuff with the G1000, but I don't know. I'm not overly fond of this. Probably read up on it, because it really does have good performance. I mean, it cruises super fast. It did spawn out of nowhere. Alright, should be turning us pretty soon here. Yeah, we lost a lot of speed getting on that descent and stuff like that. Alright, let's get the plane slowed down, because when we turn on the final, we will have to get flaps in. Let's do some final items here. We're going to go ahead and turn the fuel tank back over. Landing light on. We're going to go mixture full rich. Prop roll forward. No carb heat in this plane because it's fuel injected. Once we get to 127, we can put flaps at half, and then 117 flaps at full. Actually lining up pretty good with Fort Yukon. So we're actually going to pass right back over the river. Come right in. We'll have a great view of the town off our right wing as we're coming into land. What's that pointing out over there is maybe Birch Creek. Pointing out over there I think is Chalkyitzik, way off in the distance. Kind of just barely maybe see some hills start to rise a little further out. Alright, let's take that power out. Disconnect the autopilot. I'm going to fly this by hand. Alright, there's 127. Let's go half flaps. There's 117, we can go full flaps. We're actually down to 107 now. So what we're going to do is add the power back in. Let's butter it. I don't know. I'm going to try, man. But flying a brand new plane, this can be tough. Now we're getting pretty slow. Our approach speed can be down to about 85. I don't like where it's at. Cut back over this way. We do have a little bit of a right crosswind. Beautiful view coming over the river. We're on the right approach course. A tiny bit low. Add a little bit of power and let's level off. Just kind of get back on that glide path. There we go. Now we can take it back out. Let the nose point down a little bit. That is pretty out that way. This right here, kind of sitting right along the riverbank, to the right of the runway, is the town of Fort Yukon, about 600 people. So it's a pretty small community, but it's one of the larger ones for up here. And as you come in, you get a gorgeous view of this up here. And we are flying just perfectly on course. We're looking pretty good. Let's turn a little bit, get a little bit back lined up. Take the power out now. We need to put it back in because we're starting to drop a bit. We're carrying a bit of extra speed here. So we're just going to kind of float down to the ground. Take the power out now. Nice easy flare. Now we're floating. There we go. Not bad. Alright, there's the brakes. We can go flaps up. Alright. What we'll do is come right back over this way. And let's loop around. Beautiful view of the river right there. Right alongside the airport. I'll put the power back in. And let's just roll down back over to these parking areas. Let's grab a view outside. Not bad, I have to go though. Thanks for the stream. See ya. Alright, Isle of Plains, have a great evening. Thanks for hanging out, man. We'll turn right in over here. Get ourselves parked. I guess we're reparking ourselves? I don't know. Let's roll in. Yeah, right about there is good. Set the parking brake. Let's go into the air, back into the cockpit. And okay. Shut the landing light off. Avionics off. Flaps are up. Cut the mixture. Alright, propeller is stopped. Play PC2 for the love of God after this, JK. I might. And what we're going to go ahead and do is cut the battery switch. And we can turn the fuel tank off. And the key's off. Now we get out of the airplane. And here we are on the ground at Fort Yukon. Pretty place. Alright, that's going to do it for this flight. Thanks for flying with me, folks. Hope you enjoyed it. And we'll pick back up tomorrow with another flight at some point. I probably will do some PCT, or PC2 in a bit. I'm used to saying RCT2 when I would do the open RCT and stuff. But we'll do some PC2 here in a little bit. I gotta take a short break, and stay tuned for that. See you all soon, and take care, stay safe. We'll catch you.